How do I study in cybersecurity? In today's video, I'm going to tell you how, or the methods that I use, the 3 steps that I use to study in cybersecurity. Let's go ahead and get started with today's video. Hello everyone, my name is Grant Collins. I am here in the outside world, no longer bound by the dorm life. It's sunny out here. I decided to make some videos today. How do I study in cybersecurity? Specifically, how do I study for my personal projects? I'm going to give you 3 steps, or 3 concrete steps that I use to tackle these projects, these side projects. As you know, right now, I am currently in the process of completing the Complete Python project for cybersecurity. And one of the things that I did first when I initially started was create an outline. And within this outline, I have a few details that I utilize, or a few things that I do. First, I define my main goal. What is my main goal? What am I trying to do in terms of building out a project? Most of the time, this main goal is pretty broad in terms of the statements, and it's basically a 360 overview of what I'm trying to accomplish. So for instance, on my Python project, I had outlined that I wanted to learn just beyond the syntax, that I actually wanted to learn the logic, and I actually want to comprehend the programming and the code behind it. After I create my main goal, I go ahead and pick my learning resources. Learning resources that can be both free and that can be paid. I've done a video here, I'll link it in the cards, 3 reasons why you should pay for your online learning. The premise behind that video is just to basically tell you that you don't necessarily have to pay for your training, but oftentimes I find that when I pay for my training, I'm more committed. I'm not gonna get on that sidetrack. But what I end up doing is I outline the resources that I will utilize, and I divide it into weeks. So for instance, I'm going to use the Python project as my example. I have basically 10 weeks, or roughly 10 to 12 weeks of content that I must be doing. And each week I divide it out into the course modules, or particular courses that I am going to be doing. So for instance, on level 1, I had 3 main Python courses that I was going to be utilizing on Pluralsight, and that amounted to roughly 7-8 hours of content, and I divided that up into about two weeks. So after each week, I put, like for instance, I put week 1 and I do this course, and then I do week 2, do this course, so on and so forth until you get to the end of your goal. I usually try to make my projects around 2.5 to 3 months, something that's long enough for me to start comprehending what I'm actually learning, but at the same time, I'm not just overdoing it. I give myself about 3 months time to do these side projects. All right, so that's kind of the basic first step, is the outline. The second step I've utilized so many times throughout this last year, 2.5 years, is the Pomodoro Technique. I did a video here, I'll link it in the cards, talking about the Pomodoro Technique. It was one of my older videos, but I'll briefly outline. The Pomodoro Technique is literally 25 minutes of hard work and 5 minutes of break. So that 25 minutes, I do focused work, I'm learning the content, I'm focusing, I'm not listening to music, I'm solely focusing on the content, I'm taking notes, and that's what I'm doing. Then I do 5 minutes of break. And I usually try to get around 4 to 5 Pomodori done per day. That's a great way to measure how much time I'm actually working. So for instance, most of the times it's 4 Pomodori, which amounts to 2 hours of hard work where I'm actually focusing on the content. This technique is great just because you get to have the ability to track what you're doing each and every day. And I think that's a great way to track how you're working, days that you miss, days that you maybe do a little bit more Pomodori, maybe do a little bit less. It's just basically all the way around. It's a great way to measure and to track your progress. And finally, number 3, we have adjusting and executing. So I definitely want to focus on the execution part. One of the things that I find people do is that they create maybe these outlines for projects, and they have these grandiose ideas about what they're going to do, but they don't exactly know how to tackle it. So they end up not taking any action at all, and that's not what you want. What you really want to do is you want to have the ability to execute. So I usually try to focus on executing 1 step at a time, 1 Pomodori at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. And I break it down literally in just to each day, each week. And so I just try to do my 4 Pomodori of work, and I'm done. That's how I try to get my execution part. And the adjustment part is really regarding the learning resources. Are they working out for me? Is the content good? Is the course instructors, are they clear? Am I taking good notes? That's how I study for my personal projects in cybersecurity. Seriously, all it is I create that outline with that main goal. I divide my learning resources, both free and paid, and I also, in addition to that, I also have my weeks and how much content I'm going to be learning per week. Number 2 is using the Pomodoro Technique. It's a great technique. Basically, it's a great way to track your progress. Number 3 is adjusting and executing as you continue to go throughout the first few weeks. And the key is to focus on the execution portion to really consistently execute each and every day. Take it day by day. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you find this helpful. And if you do, please subscribe and have a good day.